Alright, so here we have a vintage sewing machine. It does a variety of stitches. This is made in Japan, and the label on it just says American Home. And down here it says something deluxe automatic zigzag made in Japan. And yeah, it's a beast. This base here I made, it's just a wood base where it sits in pretty nice. I have a little cutout here for the cords to come out of, and these cords, they come out from the machine through the side of this base, and they plug into this block here. And the block is labeled one for motor, one for light. So one of these cords goes to the wall to plug into the power, and the other one plugs into the pedal. So right here we'll plug the motor in, then the light. And let me just move this to the side. And we'll plug in the machine. The light should come on. There. So this is a very, very heavy duty machine with a really nice, powerful motor. And well, let's go over some of the functions here. So this is the stitch length. It's just the length between when the needle goes in and to the time it goes in again. And then this is the stitch width, the back and forth width of it. Now on here, there's a bunch of selections. And most people are wanting straight stitch or zigzag. This is number 9 and 10, but you have all these other decorative stitches. And here's a little example of some of the stitches it does. It has really nice, beautiful stitches, very consistent, and just a wonderful stitching machine. But to select the stitches, you press this down. It's spring loaded in here. So if you want to go all the way to the left, you pull this down, crank that over. Now you're on number 1. So if you want to go over to the next pattern, you just push this down. Very cool, very neat mechanical thing. So we'll go over to straight stitch, which is number 9. Make sure, yeah, I think we're number 9 there. And then we'll go to the longest stitch length, and then we'll sew a little bit on this nylon. Pull my pedal around. Oh, well, it helped when we thread the machine. I wanted to wait to thread the machine because I wanted to show you something kind of unique about this. Normally it threads like a normal machine, but let's go ahead and put this on the spool pin. And then so it will go over to this point and over to this point. Now down here when we get to the tension discs, I don't know if you can see it down here. Sometimes when you go around the tension discs, you go up and back through the little spring in here. But down here, the way this is, I believe this is the way it's supposed to be, but this is the way it is. So just so you know, it just goes right through the tension discs, and then it hits the spring right there. And then it goes, this goes kind of at an angle through this lever, little thread guide there. So when it pulls, you can see underneath the spring action working. So you're getting some spring action there. So then we'll take it through this take up lever. And I go back down through the same guide, a little diagonaling through it. There's a little thread guide here. And there's 2 different thread guides here. I guess if you're going to use a double needle system, which I've never ever used a double needle system, but I don't think it really matters which one of these you go through, so I'm going to go through the one that's easiest to access. And then I'm going to thread the needle here. There we go. And also this is a class 15 sewing machine, and the bobbin's right down here. Let's see if you can see that. The bobbin's right down in there. Just a regular class 15 bobbin in there. And well, let's, oh, there goes my light. And you don't have to have vintage bobbins. You can just use bobbins that are from, you can get plastic bobbins, as long as they're class 15 from Amazon or Joann or whatever, and should be good to go. So we're all threaded up, ready to go. Now we're in our straight stitch. We have the longest stitch, and so let's sew a little bit. Let's try to get this centered a little better for you. Over this way, okay. So we'll put our, make sure our thread's under our presser foot, and then lower the presser foot, and let's sew. So it's fairly quiet and very smooth. Let me test the tension here. Okay. Make sure I'm on straight stitch. Okay, and then our zigzag, we'll press this down once. Let's get some width on it there. There's our zigzag. Let me check the tension here. Seems to be pretty good. And let's just say, now these over here, I think these are for a buttonholer, but I'm not absolutely sure because I've never used those. But that's what it looks like. This pattern looks like it's for a buttonhole thing. So you'd have to play with that. Let's go back all the way over to, it's like a hem stitch here. Let's check that out. Make our stitch length a little shorter. So yeah, just sews along. Really powerful. Have too much tension at the top, so we'll lower this. Now this tension wheel here, this is kind of, it goes very easily. So if you bump it, you might knock the tension off a certain way. So you want to just, you know, set it, and just be mindful that there's not very much friction holding the indicator to whatever number value you have. So you might want to keep an eye on that. That's something I try to go in and see if there was a way to tighten that, but I couldn't really find a way to tighten that. I think when they cast this thing, it's just the way it is. But the last thing I want to show you is just, not only is it very powerful, but it has some pretty good speed. So let's put the pedal to the metal and so you can hear it. So that is the American Home zigzag machine made in Japan. Thanks for watching.